We are now in the second half of our bracket. We have picked the first 32. We're down to the last 32. Like I said, these are still incredible wrestlers that, like, I say their names and I think, like, they are seated way too low, like, not in a good enough seed. But then you look at the guys we picked before and you go, oh, I don't feel that. Like, how could I put this guy above anybody else? So, like, it seems weird when we say these names with these numbers, but I think when you look at it, it usually is like, there's some that you could flip around here and there that we've maybe finagled for some interesting matchups that we hope will happen.
Right.
Maybe I took Eddie too high, but I don't know. So yeah, we are kicking off with our 9 seeds here. So we're going to start seeing first round matchups as well. So here we go.
Let's do it.
You are on the clock. 30 seconds still. No more time, just because these guys are not as important.
Okay, so we talk about dream matchups. That's going to be a common theme. And now that we're actually going to start seeing these first round matchups, and maybe what could happen in the second round, not that we're finagling, but if we're taking someone in a certain region, we might hold off so it gets the next region to make an interesting matchup. So I think a dream matchup everyone wanted to see, especially in like 98, 99, Austin
Goldberg! Yes!
So we're going with Bill.
Yeah,
and,
right on.
So he's going to be facing off against Piper, which
I
super random.
I don't think he'll beat Piper. I think that Goldberg Austin matchup is gonna have to wait for another year. I think people are not fond on Goldberg, especially big wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think Piper's underrated. So just an early prediction based on that matchup. Oh, but I'll try and limit them so we finish this. 30 seconds for me. I don't need it. I'm gonna go. I might need it. Hold on. Double checking here. You know what? I want to make this matchup happen. I was going to pick somebody else, but it's a really weird matchup because it's like a movie star guy that's popular now, but was a solid wrestler, but I don't think is a better wrestler than Arn Anderson. So I want to do a good matchup here. I'm going to throw Mr. Perfect in here against Arn Anderson.
Okay.
And have a little technical battle off between two of the most technically proficient and well-respected wrestlers of all time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like it. I am also not going to do the full 30 because we're back up in the Undertaker region, and whoever wins this is going to probably move on to face the Undertaker. Is it going to be the guy who's already faced him 1,000 times, or the guy we never got a chance to see him face, even though he was in a WWE for a short time? I'm going Sting.
Going Sting. 2 WWE matches, although he did wrestle in WWF early in his career. I'm fairly certain. I could be wrong on that.
Nope.
All right, so I've got to get me a 9 seed and then a 10 seed. My 9 seed to go up against the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. There's so many. I'm going to go with the Canadian Dream, Kevin Owens.
Okay.
And you know what? As I think about it, I'm not too mad about it. It's a weird matchup. And I don't feel great having Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens. They both have a similar body shape. In addition to being the American and the Canadian, you know. All right, so 10 seeds.
Yeah,
let's do this. Foley. Oh, I've got a couple options I'm leaning towards. But I'm going to go with... I'm going to use a little personal bias. I don't think this guy should be as high-seeded as I'm about to put him.
Okay.
But I think this makes for a more interesting matchup. I think given 5 more years, he will be somebody people could put as a 10. I'm going Bray Wyatt.
Ooh.
Bray Wyatt Foley.
That's an awesome match. Holy shit. I don't think that's too high at all. In fact, one thing I think we're going to start seeing, I think we actually have been holding off on a lot of the newer guys.
Yowie wowie!
All right, so I think we're on your pick for a 10, right?
Yeah, put me on the clock.
I gave you a little bonus time to think about it, and we start talking. We don't listen, and we don't look ahead.
Yeah. So I might catch some, for this. But as we're talking here, talking about WrestleMania moments, I don't think there was one single WrestleMania moment that hit me right in the feels like Kofi Mania.
Yeah.
And we're getting Kofi is Royal Rumble time, or Royal Rumble time is Kofi time, whatever you want to say. I'm going Kofi.
Kofi Kingston. Yeah. And he's another guy that I think fits into that Rey Mysterio quality as well, where like he brings in a lot of younger viewers and make them lifelong fans. And a lot has to be said for those guys that like the younger that's like younger kid friendly. Like that as much as we don't want to admit that like WWE is geared towards audience members that are younger than like 18-year-olds that like swear and like stuff like that. It is. And that's an important part of their business model.
Right. And just a quick side note, like this is where like it's a bummer that we had to draw the line somewhere. Because if we're doing groups and tag teams, like New Day, just their run and how like none of them were really supposed to be anything, put them together, and they're probably the greatest faction, one of the greatest factions.
Yeah.
They're up there with DX and maybe NWA, I don't know. But they've been killing it for 10 years now?
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, so you're up for 10th seed in the Undertaker region.
I thought I was going to make this one quick. And I still think I am, but I'm backtracking. There's a lot of good options here, actually, for this kind of mini bracket where we have Lashley and Lesnar.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 or 3 guys that probably deserve to be seated by now that would work great here. I'm going to throw Batista. I'm going to put and get him on the list. He's our last Evolution guy.
Yeah.
We've got Flair, Triple H, and Orton on here. Batista has a lot of mainstream success. Not that that has anything to do with wrestling.
I quit!
Edge. I'm going Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy, all right, yeah.
I'm going to go Jeff Hardy. I was a huge fan of his growing up, and this is kind of, I mean, how many times a day fight? Like, how many epic TLC matches that they participate in together. I like that.
And I think that's not a conversation as well respected as those guys are. Like I think because they're so well respected, nobody's ever like, who was better, like Edge or Jeff Hardy? But that's a question that's interesting because I know Edge had more long title runs, but Jeff Hardy got 1 or 2 main title runs and is consistently just like gets pops, man.
Oh yeah.
He comes back, people love him.
Oh yeah, and you can start the clock. But
I will.
One quick thing about that is this like. WrestleMania 17 is kind of known as the best or one of the best ones. And like, what's the best match from it? I mean, you could say Rock Austin, but like those TLC matches, like the spear off the ladder while Hardy was hanging from the thing, super good. Kurt Angle, you know who I want to see Kurt Angle go against? Not Savage, Steamboat.
Steamboat!
Yeah, they put on a clinic at WrestleMania 3. Right. So I think Kurt Angle could recreate that in his prime with Steamboat.
Oh, so yeah, for sure.
We're going Angle Steamboat. So now we're moving on down to the Rock region and
AJ. Yeah, I'm hitting this timer faster. I need to speed it up. Oh, did these guys wrestle? What was TNA? I think they might have both been in it, so I might not pick him actually.
Okay.
To avoid it, but I might now. I don't know off the top of my head if they ever wrestled and were in the same promotion at the same time, but I think this was talked about. I think they have similar styles. RVD.
Oh, sweet.
And RVD was a personal favorite of mine. I forget that like during a certain era, like RVD was my favorite wrestler. I did all of his moves on my trampoline.
Yeah.
Rolling Thunder, 5-star frog splash, Van Terminator, Van Daminator, whatever he called it. Just tossing up chairs at people and be like, catch, and then kick him in the face.
Alrighty, so a lot of names that we haven't yet called out on in the second tier.
Jeez, only a couple though.
Yeah. So I'm going to move on to our third tier, and I don't think we'll have a problem throwing up our tiers, so you can see what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's recency bias. Maybe it's just because he's the hottest thing in wrestling right now. I want to see Daniel Bryan go up against Sami Zayn.
Oh,
and I'm talking
juicy.
I'm talking NXT, like post El Generico first NXT type Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah.
He's doing like, sorry.
No, you can. I was just getting for the timer.
Alrighty, who we got is the last 11?
I'm an 11 and then I'm a 12. Ooh, and a Punk matchup.
Ooh. A lot of people hating on Punk right now. We might see him go down.
I get it. I've kind of turned on him too. He was a favorite of mine for a long time, and I still think he's probably right about WWE and the things he said, but he's also a very just divisive person and probably a hard person to work with. So, whatever. I am going to put him up against the $1 Million Man, another incredible talker and incredible heel.
Cool.
And I think they are kindred spirits in a weird way, with at least the characters they portrayed at times.
Yeah.
So I'm right back to a 12 seed going up against King Booker. Man. Oh, couple options that I feel like I'm finagling too much. Nah, this would put way too high. I was about to pick Goldust because they were a tag team.
Oh, that's right.
Goldust would have like a stutter. I don't know how appropriate that angle was. Oh my god, I don't know who to pick here. I'm gonna put King Booker up against another king or some kind of warrior, Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna go Drew here.
Alrighty. That's a good pick. We're gonna get so much like, how could so and so be so low? It's like, well, look at the rest of the bracket. I mean, we're not getting everything perfect, but like, we're doing the best we can here. I think Bret Hart versus Cody Rhodes is gonna be a banger of a first round matchup, and it's gonna be probably right around the time Cody makes his comeback, so it's gonna make for a really interesting first round matchup.
That is gonna be an interesting
I'm going
one.
Cody.
I'm not sure how people will feel about that because Bret Hart is a very divisive. Like, you either like agree with him and think he got screwed, or you're kind of like, this guy's annoying. Can he just like get over it by now?
Right.
You know?
You can't. I mean, it's like the post WWE stuff. It's just like, I feel bad his career got cut short, but like, he didn't have to slam Goldberg every chance he could. It's like, he still made the decision. If you make
everybody else is doing that. Nobody else. Yeah, literally everybody else comes out and slams Goldberg.
Yeah.
All right, this seems like finagling, but I don't know about another guy. I do think these are better wrestlers, but this guy has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's going up against Andre the Giant. Let's do Andre versus Big Show.
Let's do Andre Big Show.
Big Show has been like he was, other than Andre the Giant, the prototype for big man.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot he could do that was really impressive when he was younger.
Has turned heel and face more times than anyone.
I think I know.
I'm going the world's strongest man.
Oh,
Mark Henry.
I didn't think I thought you were going with somebody else actually, but that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm going Mark Henry to face off against Orton, which I'm sure they had a feud at some point. They were both
I think so, yeah.
like upper mid card for a long time together.
All right, you are on to 13.
Yeah, okay, so I'm on the clock. 13 to go against the Ultimate Warrior.
Some good options.
Well, I know who's going to face the Ultimate Warrior. It's a different warrior. It's the Celtic Warrior.
Oh,
banger after
nice.
banger after
I think that's a
banger.
good one. That is awesome. That's a good matchup. I was looking at him or the guy above him as like also like two insane guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so our 13 seed going against Bruno.
Going against Bruno.
Side note, we did a Sacha Baron Cohen, Robert Downey Jr., and I tried to slip in a joke from the movie Encanto, which my son likes.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, we don't talk about Bruno. And
here's another one.
the video is up. Yeah, it's a different Bruno. But when I said we don't talk about Bruno, I could tell you had no idea what I was talking about.
No, I do know what you're talking about because
okay.
I work with a lot of, work at a job that has a lot of younger students and they love Encanto and they sing that all the time.
Okay.
They did for a while. I don't know a good matchup for Bruno Sammartino, but this is a guy that I think I kind of want him to move on unless people really respect Bruno, and I think maybe he deserves a second rounder. I'm going to say Big E.
Okay, cool.
Actually, you know what? Oh, can I take it back? Is it too late to take it back?
No, you can take it back.
All right, I
You
was
get one take back. That's what we're doing.
we forgot to say one take back. I'm going to go with The Miz.
Ooh! Oh, this is good.
I think it's a much better matchup because, like, this will determine how you feel about, like, do you respect, like, the classic guys that just, like, wrestled and put in work, or do you love the guys that are, like, also celebrities as wrestlers and, like, maybe have, like, way other more side projects and stuff. And he's a perfect heel for anybody. If Bruno Sammartino can get over and win a matchup against anybody, Miz is the perfect heel for him to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally true. Awesome. Alrighty, so I'm going up against my 13 seed, going up against Rey Mysterio in the first round. let's do it. So this is a good spot for this person. But Rey Mysterio's career has kind of been characterized by like overcoming the giant, right?
Yeah.
And very few wrestlers in history bigger, stronger than Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Ooh,
Kevin Nash.
there you
I'm
go.
putting up Rey against Kevin Nash.
You know what? I think in a quick test run, this matchup actually happened in the first round as well.
Oh, really?
I feel like it did. Maybe not. I could be wrong. We
Yeah.
might be able to go back and check that.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. Oh man,
That's a
who
good
did I
Rollins
put
impression.
up?
Yeah.
Who did I put him up against? I think I'm only just gonna piggyback off of the guy that you just chose, and I think these guys are sort of similar, but I mean they're both great ladder, like very famous ladder matches. So I'm gonna go with Scott Hall, Razor
Ooh,
Ramon, and
yeah.
Seth Rollins. Something about their styles just seems similar to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good matchup, and it gets Scott Hall in there.
Yeah, and it's like you gotta go Nash and Hall back to back.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Sometimes there's just like a theme of who you're picking, and it's
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we on the 14?
Oh no, it's my turn. Oh god.
Yeah, you're up.
Roman Reigns. All right, I am gonna have Roman Reigns
Hey, honey.
go. Ooh, there's a couple good options here. But yeah, these aren't gonna be like the juiciest matchups right now. I'm curious. Who's my next pick for a 3 seed or against a 3 seed? I'm gonna have him go up against Iron Sheik,
Okay.
one of the ultimate heels.
Yeah.
And right now Roman Reigns is making his case for one of the best heel personas in a long time. And
Boot to the kidney again. Now he's going for it. Camel clutch coming up.
Okay, so moving on down, 14 against Chris Jericho.
man, I used my one take back already.
You know who I think's gonna make a good match against Jericho?
Who?
In fact, I'm sure they've had it. I'm gonna go Ambrose.
Oh, yeah,
Moxley,
right on.
he's doing a lot of his best work in AEW, but you can't forget about his work in WWE either.
Yeah. All right, someone to go up against Triple H. I'm gonna sneak down the list a bit
Okay.
because I think one of these would make for a more interesting matchup. I am going to grab JBL here.
Okay.
And if JBL didn't make the bracket, I'd be fine with it. I personally don't like him. And I didn't like his wrestling gimmicks either. But he played a great heel, so I think that worked. But yeah, I think he's one of those kind of like classic in the business guys like Triple H. But Triple H probably approaches the business the right way more so now, and JBL is kind of one of those guys that I think approach the business in a bit of a hazing.
Yeah.
Only respect with the guys who've been here for a long time kind of way.
Yeah.
So maybe Triple H can bury him.
Awesome. Okay. Back on the clock for 2 in a row. We got a first round matchup against Randy Savage in the Hulk Hogan region. I think this is a good spot for this person. I'm going to go Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake!
Yeah.
Nice!
I'm going to go Jake the Snake.
I think that's fair.
He fell maybe a little low as a 14 seed, but again, look at who's above him, and it's like you can make the argument
Yeah.
anyway. Okay.
Jake the Snake is iconic, but I don't know how people perceive him as a wrestler.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I got a hell of a first round matchup for Cena here.
Okay.
In the 15 seed. Cena's lifted a lot of heavyweights. He's lifted Big Show and Edge kind of at the same time for like a split second. Let's see if he can get Yokozuna up and that attitude adjustment. I'm going Yokozuna.
Yokozuna does make it right on for the Zuna, for the big Kazuna.
The big Kazuna. All right, who's going up against Flair in the Rock region?
Yeah. I think I know we wanted to get this wrestler in our bracket, maybe for over sentimental reasons. But because he was a little bit just before our time, so he was like a mid-carder when we were popular. But I know like people do think of him as like a really talented guy, kind of just a victim of circumstance and booking at the time, where if you weren't one of the big guys or top guys, you might not get the best storylines. I'm going to put Owen Hart here.
Okay.
And I think this is a good matchup. I was going to have him against another, in a little bit higher of a seed, but I thought the matchup was maybe not a good or even or fair one. I think this is a good balanced one, maybe. So.
Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. First round, Undertaker region going up against Brock Lesnar. I see a name that I think would be a really good first round matchup. But I'm going to go with a different name that's, I think, also a good first round matchup. This is the most anticlimactic thing ever. I'm going Vader.
Oh, they're going X-Pac.
just brute force him. But yeah, I think Vader's kind of known as like a pretty nimble big guy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Go off
for
the
sure.
middle rope at least, maybe the top rope. That's a good little small 4-packet bracket right there. Some big men slapping meat right there.
Damn. Lashley, Batista, Lesnar, Vader. Ooh.
Some meat slappers. Well, I'm going to start the clock, but we're down to our last 5.
Yeah.
And I don't know I know we jokingly discussed like 16s might kind of being joke picks.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know what we did last time, but I feel like we definitely could make joke picks. I feel like we're missing some guys that need to be on there.
Yeah.
So I'm worried. But we might throw in like some BS 16s that, whatever. So HBK, I feel disappointed that I used my take back and didn't get this matchup in earlier. But this guy absolutely has to be on that bracket. He would have probably lost his other round matchup. I picked somebody to go against Roman Reigns, and I probably should have picked Snuka
Ooh.
for the Samoan backgrounds. But I'm going to pick Jimmy Superfly Snuka
Cool.
to go against HBK. I think that's equally as solid as a matchup. I think their two styles in ring would have been really good to see.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good place for him, and I do feel bad that he fell lower than I wanted him to.
Yeah, and almost their the dive off the top of the cage and the ladder spot are kind of synonymous.
Yeah.
Like there was like before like hardcore 20-foot ladders and stuff. Like those were like big deals at the time when HBK came off the ladder and Snuka came off the cage. So super cool. We're down to the last round.
We are down to our last round. Our guys that just snuck on here. I don't think this guy deserves to be on the best wrestler bracket.
Okay.
But I think he's like the perfect definition of what happens, what makes a good wrestler, or like what makes your personality get over. Because him and Stone Cold, who he's going up against, are kind of similar in like a look. But Stone Cold made it work, and this guy was supposedly told he was given the shot and just failed, and he was no personality. I'm gonna put him up against Lex Luger.
Okay.
Somebody that I think a lot of like wrestling fans that look back on like the Hogan era and like try and talk about like who was supposed to take the mantle after Hogan, and they were kind of planning Luger, but he was just so bland that he never got over. And Stone Cold for a while was a kind of bland character, and it took like one promo.
Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass.
First round matchup against The Rock. I'm going D'Lo.
No, you didn't really.
I said it and I can't take it back.
You still have one take back if you want.
All right, I'm going Farouk.
Okay.
Because he was the leader.
D'Lo is one of my favorite wrestlers, and he's the
D'Lo's
only reason. I'm the only reason he's probably on this like tier list.
Right. I'm going Farouk. Leader of the nation. They started their careers together.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great first round matchup.
Yeah.
And then like,
Damn!
you're up. Your very last pick.
The very last pick. I'm really sad.
Undertaker.
It feels like whoever I pick here isn't like a great matchup for Undertaker. None of these guys have like any kind of similarity or any sort of like story. Like none of them are like characters like Undertaker was. So it's a hard pick. Part of I know this guy was in one of our test run brackets, and I don't know how he slipped and we didn't get him in because there is like a debate over his move versus other moves. I guess maybe I could have switched him out with Luger. I keep up my takebacks. And I don't think I'm going to put him here. This might seem like a joke one, but I've expressed this before. I'm going to put Honky Tonk
Okay.
in here.
Yeah.
I think there's this archetype of like music character Because there's Jeff Jarrett's, there's now like Elias. There's a character that comes out and like does music. I guess you could consider like Rick Boogs, one of your current favorites, as like a music character, like a character who thinks he's a musician or plays an instrument or uses an instrument as a weapon. I think Honky Tonk Man was kind of the originator of that gimmick. Disco Inferno for you WCW fans, he was amazing. Just basically Elvis that danced. I'll throw Honky Tonk Man on there for really popularizing that gimmick.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So it's down to me.
The last one.
I know who I'm gonna pick, and I'm gonna.
Before you pick anybody, do you want to just go through a couple that we did not pick that were a little bit that you're like regretful didn't make it? I don't know who you're picking, so you can say some of the ones and then
Yeah. Well, we had Vincent Shane on here.
Yeah.
We had Vincent Shane. Vince, for obvious reasons, he was in the best feud perhaps of all time with Austin. He had his fair share of matches. He's a Royal Rumble winner, apparently. He took some solid bumps.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm thinking St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I think 99, in that cage match with Austin when Big Show premiered. And, like, he took the bump off of the cage onto the announce table, hit it wrong, landed on the corner, bounced up, and then back onto the table. Like, I can imagine he still has back issues from that. And would we be here even say what you will about his personal life. This is where we really got to try hard to separate the person behind the scenes between what he did. We wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be wearing the shirt. You wouldn't be wearing that shirt. Not that we'd be shirtless, but
unless
maybe we would.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe that's why he came around.
Yeah. Without Vince McMahon.
Yeah, but like you said, I think the reason he's probably not getting put on here is because despite him being a pretty good, having what it takes to be a wrestler and being in matches and having great storylines and stuff, like he is also more known for running wrestling and being the mind behind it. And so like how much more credit are we giving because we know he was like the president and CEO of the company,
right?
You know, so I think it's it seems like he should be on there, but I think it's there that he's maybe not. Any other guys you see on there? I'm doubting you're taking. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I doubt you're taking like Ziggler.
Not taking Ziggler. I thought about
really
it.
Really good.
I thought about it for the past like 4 rounds, but it's like Ziggler or Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes, Ziggler, or Kevin Owens. Like, I mean, you could make the argument. He's been doing it forever. He's awesome. He can make a broomstick, like they said about Kurt Angle or AJ Styles. He can make a broomstick look good, but like, sorry, Dolph. Like,
I'm guessing Goldust didn't make it either. I think that's fine. A great gimmick and like a really memorable gimmick, but I don't know if he fit on a best wrestler bracket. Yeah. This one's a controversial one, and we didn't shy away from it because I think in one of our test runs we had him on there. But Benoit, I don't think you're going Benoit probably.
No, not gonna go Benoit.
Benoit, really talented wrestler, shorter WWE run, but still long enough. And that match is usually listed. The one where he won the title is often listed as one of the best Mania matches of all time.
Yeah.
But he also only had that kind of in-ring ability. He really could not get on the microphone and sell you on himself.
Right. Just looking on the list, just kind of checking boxes of people who we had. We had the Usos individually. Yeah. Main event Jey Uso had a great run when Jimmy was out. King Kong Bundy, Bam Bam Bigelow, Sergeant Slaughter, the Big Boss Man, these kind of like staples of the late 80s, early 90s where it was big on like characters. Like what's your character? Like your, not so much about in-ring, but like those kind of things. So I'm going to go out and say this. I'm going to snag someone who I don't know how well he pairs up with Hogan.
Yeah.
But depending on who's voting, may have a chance to knock Hogan off.
I think I know who you're going for.
Okay. One of the best...
X-Pac.
I thought about X-Pac. Like I said, we had the list.
He's on the list.
And we thought about Simon Miller because he technically has wrestled in WWE. I think he's got a match on the WWE Network right now, according to his channel. I'm a big Simon Miller fan. Didn't want to put Simon on here, but shout out Simon. Give this video an up. I'm going Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn Balor. Okay.
Yeah, I think between in-ring work, he can go with anyone, And while he may not be the best on the mic, if you give him space, like he's doing great in Judgment Day, the Judgment Day. But that demon character was so hot, like Hansel. And I think if there is a 16 seed out of this list who has a chance of knocking off Hogan, I think it might even be Balor. So I'm going Balor as my final pick.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I got the first and last pick. Maybe it's how we rotated it. But
I think that makes sense. I think that's how it would go. But yeah, there it is. We've got our 64 wrestlers. We went through some guys we regretted not having on there. But I think, and the seating, I think the wrestlers on there at this point, you're really splitting hairs. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything that's like a notable absence. Like we didn't, I don't think we missed any wrestler that somebody's like, this is like a top 10 guy from this era. Right. How did you not have him on here?
Right. And can I note one more person that I regret not? I don't regret it because, look at the list. I'm just a big DDP fan. But like thinking specifically WWE, his WCW run was much higher, and they didn't do quite enough with him. Like I think his like introduction to the company was cool. Feud right with Taker, awesome. But then like that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That was like a little weird. But like post wrestling, I know how much he's done for like wrestlers and like rehab, rehabilitating. And quick shout out, I'm also a big fan of his yoga program. Did it today actually.
Yeah, I thought of sneaking him in against Stone Cold for the Stunner versus Diamond Cutter debate. That was going to be my take back to get Luger out of there. Mm-hmm. But I do think Luger maybe had like more of a WWF/WWE career where he was given more prominent spots for better or worse. So we'll look at, I guess the only thing then is like seating. Like we said as we were picking, like I'm gonna finagle this for a more interesting matchup, which means maybe we're gonna miss out on some like really good Sweet 16 matchups, but I doubt it. Like there are some mismatches that happen. Yeah. But once it gets like to this last 16, like every matchup is gonna be like an absolute banger.
Yeah, dude.
And like such a hard choice to pick. Yeah. Like just like looking down this bracket as we, throw up the full thing so you can take a peek at what it looked like. And we'll probably post this like image just like on our social medias so it can be there as well. And any final thoughts?
I'm excited. Like if you can't feel it, and if you're still with us, we appreciate it. This is our longest video by far so far. We'll probably do something like this or some sort of rendition of this when we do each bracket because I know we got best TV show coming up after, or kind of like towards the tail end of best wrestler. Yeah,
we might not always draft like we did here, but we might just get to go and be like, here's what we did, and so those might go faster, 30 to 45 minutes. But man, we love talking wrestling.
God, we love talking about it.
Part of me feels bad because as we picked like our 1s and our 2s and our 3s, we kind of just picked them and we didn't say like a lot of stories. But as we got to like 6s and beyond, each time we said a guy, we like brought up some like fact about him.
Yeah.
But those guys in the top 5 seeds are all gonna go on deep, so we should probably save our stories for those videos rather than like so we don't blow everything we got on The Rock and John Cena before they meet in the Final Four or something.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. End on this unless you got any final thoughts. We love talking about wrestling so much that any comment we get, we're going to reply to. I love talking about it. Like, if you comment on this video within, like, an hour, as long as I'm not sleeping or working, like, I love engaging. I love talking about this stuff. So really looking forward to the wrestling fans coming out and just chatting about it. It's WrestleMania season, baby. Get hyped. Almost WrestleMania season.
All right.
Farewell.
We'll see you.